Is someone in there?
That was not someone, that was something.
Yeah, bro, what's all that? What? What's all that? Fuck off. Shit.
There is someone in the car.
Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone, or something, you'd rather never meet? Like this first encounter in the wilderness of Brazil. On October 15th, 2024, what started as a routine outing on the water turned into something far darker for Will Kayako, best known for his popular kayak fishing videos. He and a group of friends were fishing at the Sto Grande Reservoir in São Paulo, Brazil, when an unusual smell drifted across the water, something that didn't belong in the calm setting of the lake.
Caramba, agora aquela carniça lá tem bicho morto aqui, ó. Aqui.
At first, Will assumed the source might be a dead capybara, common in the region. But when he went to check, the truth was far more unsettling. Floating in the water was a human body, still wearing shoes. Without hesitation, Will contacted the police and remained nearby until authorities arrived. The remains were recovered, and an official investigation was launched. Choosing to respect the situation, Will did not record the authorities as they worked, but later recounted the events to his audience. His story quickly spread online, gaining traction the very same day as it was reported by local media outlets. As of now, the identity of the deceased and the circumstances surrounding their death remain a mystery. From a shocking discovery on the water in Brazil, we move to another journey, this time on land, where Valerie's solo hitchhiking trip in Kazakhstan takes a turn she never expected. Adventure Travel and Raw Moments is the channel run by Valerie, a traveler known for her upbeat, spontaneous journeys. Normally, her adventures are full of kindness and connection, but on this night, hitchhiking solo through Turkestan toward Aristanbab, the tone shifted into something far less expected. This video documents that journey, a trip meant to be ordinary, yet one that turned into a quiet test of boundaries and instinct.
I'm just a few hundred meters away from the city center in Turkestan, and it's sad to see, but it looks like a different world. The streets are full of potholes, they're scattered everywhere. The contrast is very big, like the huge buildings and the fountains. Yeah, it's like the same city, right? Bye-bye! So I didn't come very far today, not yet. A friendly man took me with him, even though he didn't have to go this direction. It was very friendly that he took me some kilometers outside of the city center, so it's easier to get another lift here. He was afraid that his wife would be jealous, so I didn't show him on camera. But yeah, here I'm on the proper road, good for hitchhiking.
From the beginning, the contrasts of Turkestan set the scene. Valerie moves between them with her usual optimism, trying to cover distance before dark to reach Aristanbab in time to pitch her tent.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So lucky I met this family. They were so sweet. And they took me like 1 hour from Turkestan to Aristanbab. I wanted to come here because there's a beautiful mausoleum and a mosque, and it's a bit more rural here. It was like dirt road, nothing to see, but yeah, that's Kazakhstan. I love that. So cool. And now I'm looking for a spot to set up my tent, somewhere with a good view. I would love to wake up and see the mausoleum in the morning, so I try to go somewhere on the field.
Eventually, she finds a spot with a view of the mosque, racing the dusk to set up her tent without drawing attention. Horses move in the distance, their silhouettes drifting through the last light, and unseen voices carry faintly across the field. It is beautiful but exposed, the kind of place where quiet doesn't necessarily mean alone.
Two mosquitoes in here. It's actually soft. The size is just perfect. I'm glad about this tent. Woo! My first night in a tent in Kazakhstan. My first night in this tent also. It's very basic, but it brought me here, so it's good. I'm thankful I have it, because tent always means flexibility, and that's what I love. Actually, the driver brought me to a guest house, which is like 200 meters from here, and thought I wanted to sleep there, but then I said, no, actually I have my tent with me, and I said I will just go to the field.
Valerie settles into her tent, the field around her quiet under the fading light. The air carries that first night excitement, the kind that comes with being free to choose your own view of the morning. But what feels calm and promising now will soon shift entirely as the night brings an encounter she never expected.
I had probably slept for 1 hour until I heard a noise. It was the horses coming closer to my tent. Hello. So I opened the door to watch them and welcome them. But then a car approached. There is someone in the car. I hope he doesn't mind me camping here on his ground.
Қазақша білмейді екен деп ағыз.
WhatsApp берші, жаңа телефоныңды.
Bye bye. Thank you. Kata Rahmat. Thank you. Bye. What was that? It was so weird. Okay, so obviously these people are the owner of the field and the horses. So they came to check on them and they saw my tent, and I was already watching the horses. So I went outside to speak with them and ask them if it's okay that I sleep here on their field.
The landowners were curious and luckily very friendly, eager to know who Valerie is and why she has chosen this field for the night. Through translation apps and exchanged smiles, the conversation stretches on. A little awkward, but never hostile. It seems like nothing more than a passing interaction with strangers. Though before long, the night will show that not every visit to her tent would remain so friendly. Because in the middle of the night, around 3 a.m., the car returned. Only this time, the man was alone. His wife no longer with him.
I can't believe I just called this man friendly. I'm so disappointed. It's 3 a.m. I heard a noise, someone was saying something. I opened the door of my tent, and then he was there again, like very close. And he was like making a kissing gesture. I said, what? I was still like, I didn't understand what was going on because I just woke up, and he really tried to go into my tent. I had to stop him and push him away, and he said, what are you doing? No. Like clearly said no. And he wouldn't understand, like he wouldn't want to understand. I was like in such a shock because I didn't get why, like what was happening, and I kept saying no, and he wanted to still like come inside. Eventually he said, yeah, phone to speak, like Google Translate, and I said no. leave me alone, no, go. And I think I said this for 2 minutes straight until he finally left. But man, I've never had that before. And yeah, now he went back into his car. I don't know, will he return or not? So it's a bit stupid situation right now. And I mean, so sad, because they were friendly and stuff, but this really destroyed it, unfortunately. And it was the first time I didn't really feel 100% safe. I mean, I was sure that one day I will face these kind of situations, but yeah, it just didn't happen to me yet. Yeah, now I placed my cutlery next to me, just in case. I don't think he will come back, but you never know.
For anyone in Valerie's position, this moment would be deeply unsettling. To be pulled from sleep by movement outside your tent, only to realize it isn't an animal, but a man standing there alone, is the kind of shock that unravels any sense of safety. The stillness of the night makes every sound sharper, every second longer, and the thin fabric between you and the outside world feels far too fragile. It's the kind of situation where fear and disbelief collide, leaving you painfully aware of how vulnerable you really are. In the hours until dawn, she barely sleeps. Every sound becomes sharper, the rubbing of the sleeping. And when morning finally comes, it is quiet, almost serene, as though the night never happened. Days later, editing this footage, Valerie reflects on what she could have done differently.
By the time I edited this video, a few days had passed since this incident had happened, and I had time to think about how the situation came about. Yes, I was in short clothes when I talked to the farmer and his wife because I was sleeping before. Yes, I shared my social media accounts with them. Yes, I answered their questions honestly, that I was traveling alone and that I'm not married. And yes, I was super friendly as always, I smiled a lot. But they were a married couple and seemed warm-hearted, even though they should have noticed that it's not the best behavior to interrupt my sleep at 1:30 in the morning for such a long time. And still, I would have never expected him to return without his wife.
She writes down new rules for herself. Clearer boundaries, fewer smiles when something feels wrong, small protective fictions like pretending she's not alone. They're changes she doesn't want to make, but ones she knows might protect her courage, the very thing that allows her to travel the way she does. This wasn't the story she wanted to tell, but it became the story she needed to share. By the time she leaves, the field looks calm again, but the memory of the night lingers, a reminder that even the most beautiful journeys can carry shadows. And it leaves a question for you. How would you have reacted, waking to find yourself in her place? Let me know in the comments below. Unlike Valerie's uneasy night in her tent, Sergei's ordeal in the Siberian wilderness shows how it's isolation that can become a threat. This event took place in 2014 and is still remembered by many as a real-life nightmare. Deep in the western Sayan mountains of Siberia lived Sergei, an experienced hunter hardened by years in the wilderness. A professional by every measure, Sergei was no stranger to solitude or danger. Yet what he encountered here was unlike anything he had ever faced before. The chilling footage of Sergei's ordeal was uploaded years later, in February 2019, to the channel Bad Pioneer. The channel doesn't belong to Sergei himself. The recordings were shared by a close friend, also a hunter, who documents wilderness expeditions online. Sergei often disappeared into the forests for weeks at a time, relying only on his skill and instincts to survive, hunting and living entirely alone. On this trip, his goal was the Manchurian wapiti, a large elusive species of deer that demands patience and stealth. Sergei set up camp and spent several days preparing, studying tracks, and planning his hunt. One night, convinced he had found the perfect spot, he climbed into a tree, set his decoys, and waited. That was when his nightmare began. At first, the forest was calm, filled with the familiar rhythms of night. But then, without warning, a strange sound drifted through the trees, sharp, metallic, and unnatural.
Какой-то непонятный. Время где-то около часа ночи. Стук такой. Металлический.
The noise came in a faint, rhythmic pattern, carrying on for nearly half an hour before shifting into something entirely different, a change that made it even more unsettling.
Ничего не пойму. Как будто люди какие-то, хотя здесь быть не может.
Disturbed and increasingly uneasy, Sergei abandoned the hunt and began making his way back to camp. But the forest had other plans. On the trail, new noises emerged, closer this time, deliberate in their movement and far harder to dismiss. Hoping to drive away whatever stalked him, Sergei lit a fire, the flames crackling against the darkness. Instead of comfort, it brought dread, the fire marking his position like a beacon. Around him, branches cracked and shifted as though something circled with intent, always just out of sight.
Вон там где-то. Тихо. Видимо, костер мешает слушать. Тихо, 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 старик. Это пищевые, вон там. Тихо, 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 тихо. Перестало, что ли? Вот. Пошли. Ноги, блядь. Так, рюкзак собираем. Растаскивай головешки. Тихо. Блядь, тушим давай. Тихо, чтоб не поехала никуда. Блядь, сейчас зальем их нахуй. Фляжку давай, блядь. Да тут вода, не до воды, блядь. Заливай. Заливай, блядь. Тихо. Давай, не ссы. Быстрее, блядь.
Realizing the situation was becoming critical, Sergei scrambled back into a tree, choosing the high ground to defend himself. Then came the breaking point. A shot fired, followed by a scream unlike anything he had ever heard. The sound fell away, the forest slipping back into silence, but only for an hour. When the noises returned, they were louder, closer, and far more menacing.
Пошли, блядь. Вылазь аккуратно. Опа. Опять нахуй. О-о-о-о. Ты чё, блядь? Давай, блядь. Быстрее, нахуй. Ну давай, блядь. На дерево, нахуй.
Desperate, Sergei built a crude shelter, firing into the darkness at intervals, each shot chasing away the terror for only a moment.
О, блядь.
At last, the sound subsided.
Блядь, да их нахера там, ёб твою мать. Тихо, тихо, старик. Сейчас я покажу, ребят. Тоже, блядь. Куда стрелять-то, хуй его знает, туда или туда, блядь. Блядь, близко совсем.
A heavy silence fell over the forest, lasting until the first light of morning. But what had really happened to him that night? What stalked the edges of his camp with such persistence? Later in his expedition, Sergei came across evidence of older human presence, trees cut for resin, and not far beyond, the ruins of an abandoned camp. These traces suggested he might not have been as alone as he thought. In the comments of the uploaded video, theories spread quickly. Some insisted it was a skinwalker, a creature of Native American folklore said to mimic human voices and lure travelers to their deaths. Others claimed Sergei had crossed paths with Bigfoot, but in the end, no one knows what truly happened. Perhaps it was another hunter, equally unnerved by the strange encounter. Or perhaps, in that remote corner of Siberia, Sergei stumbled onto something no explanation can easily cover. Sergei endured the endless expanse of the Siberian forest, stalked by something he couldn't see. But in this next clip, Sam and Colby had a similar experience, in a tunnel where escape felt just as uncertain. The famous YouTube channel, Sam and scaring the rest of the group, there was something unexplainable in that tunnel, something that none of them could laugh off. The brothers in this next story had no such uncertainty. What they saw was unmistakably flesh and blood. Brothers Wild is run by Ashley and Lewis, two brothers who usually focus on relaxed outdoor adventures, combining wild swimming, cooking, and camping in the quieter corners of Wales. In this video, they've set their sights on a small forest outside Wrexham, drawn by the promise of a clear stream where they can set up camp and enjoy a night under the trees. It's the kind of trip they film often, simple, grounding, and far from anything unsettling. But this time, the mood of the woods begins to shift.
That's cool. Woo! Isn't that cool? It's freezing. It's made me dizzy. Oh. Oh. It's cold. Starting to get used to it now.
Till now, their adventure has been like any other, enjoying the sun, taking a swim, and soaking in the calm of the woods around them. The spot by the river feels comfortable, almost idyllic, and with the water close at hand and the evening light beginning to soften, they decide it's the perfect moment to cook a meal before setting up their tent for the night ahead.
Oof, that's sizzling away just nicely now. Won't be long. There you go, bro. Oh, it's whiskey time, baby. Let's go. Oh, perfect. That'll do. Do you know what? There's something primitive about washing by a river. Don't know what it is. It's that connection with nature, right? I don't know, just something as simple as this. At home, I hate doing the pots. But when you're next to this beautiful river, it's just, you want to do it. So we managed to get the tent up. Here it is. That's how it looks. We've got about 30 minutes, 40 minutes before the sun goes down.
As the evening lowers, their camp takes shape near the stream. The light softens, and everything seems set for an uncomplicated night. Yet, off-camera, a detail creeps in that changes the tone. A man with a dog appears, at first only another figure passing through. His conversation a little erratic, but harmless enough. The brothers exchange glances, weighing up whether his presence is simply odd or something more.
We were looking for some firewood to put a little campfire together, and this guy and his dogs come down, but it doesn't seem all there, does he? So
diamonds.
Yeah, so it's we may have to move yet, which we really don't want to because we've got a really good spot here. It's like really nice. The sun's just going down over here. But yeah, we'll see. Yes, lad.
Kind of work.
So we're sitting here now and we're debating whether we should pack up or carry on because that guy was a bit weird, wasn't he?
Well, he basically said, I come down, he came down, he was talking about all this random mad stuff, apocalypse and all this stuff, and then he started looking for diamonds in the water and said it was dinosaurs.
And the fact that he comes back here every night at 4 a.m.
And he said he comes here at 4, he stays here till like 4 a.m.
Now he's asking questions like, are we staying here all night?
And
so it's a bit iffy, you know, if he pisses off now and comes back with a load of glads. And
the last thing we want to do is be drinking whiskey, fall asleep, and then have 3 men just turn up randomly, and you know, we don't know what their intentions are, do we?
But at the moment everything seems okay,
yeah.
So we're just going to chill here for a bit longer, and no one comes in the next hour. And
The choice to stay starts to feel less certain. As night falls, the woods grow harder to read, and the fire doesn't give off much comfort. Small noises in the dark stand out more. A branch breaking, movement in the corner of their vision, and it raises the uneasy thought that the man they met earlier might not be gone after all. But it's no reason to leave just yet for the brothers. Maybe they're only overthinking it, letting the quiet of the forest play tricks on their minds. But little did they know, it was about to get worse.
Having a whiskey now and having some honey roasted peanuts next to the fire. So that's it's going out like, but
well, yeah, we let it go.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated. See you in a bit. Nice fire there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There, bro. What's over there?
What?
What's that there? Oh shit! Ah, shit! Ah! Right, guys. Unfortunately, we've had to Get out of there.
It's,
The guy that
it's
we...
about 11 p.m. It's pretty late, but we stayed there.
The guy...
Yeah,
Basically, the guy who came by us with the dog, he was talking a bit weird. I don't know, he was talking about diamonds.
About dinosaurs, he was talking about like all these weird conspiracies.
And he said there was people in the woods.
People in the woods, static energy, all this stuff, and just typical stuff that you'd think someone mad. But some of the stuff he said sounded, I kind of understood it.
Yeah,
so we didn't really know what to make of him. He was half there, half not. It was weird.
We were really unnerved for a bit. We thought, oh fuck it, we'll carry on. But then, lo and behold, we're sitting there now, no phones, right? We turn our phones off, fire's on, we're drinking whiskey, chilling out. We're thinking, oh, in an hour's time we'll get some sleep, get our heads down. But then
I started filming a video.
He was filming a video, and there was a shadow, right? And we thought, no way, right? And there was somebody there, standing there, or sitting there. What was he doing? By the trees anyway, crouched down, watching us. And
I don't know how long he was there.
It had to be that guy. It couldn't be nothing else. It had to be that guy, because we're not scared of anything like that.
I was looking at this now, but it was probably him. He was just literally crouched down about 20 metres away, probably a little bit less, and he was just
staring at us.
Not
a fox, not a fucking sheep, nothing like that. It was an actual person.
We were joking about stuff as well.
We were joking about it all night, but then...
He's going to come back, and that was a bit... Do we stay? We don't know what's intense out. He seemed harmless enough.
It had to be that guy.
Literally, as we're talking about it, there's a guy staring at us.
Imagine enjoying your time by the fire and realizing someone was out there, just beyond the glow, crouched low, watching in silence. The safety of the camp suddenly felt like an illusion, every flicker of light a reminder of how much lay hidden in the dark. For Ashley and Lewis, the decision was simple. They gathered their gear and came away, their quiet evening replaced by the uneasy urgency of getting out while they still could. Relief only came when the forest finally broke around them, though the memory of those eyes at the edge of camp would stay far longer. The river, the fire, the calm of the woods, all of it was left behind to the night. Because sometimes it isn't the wilderness itself that unsettles you, but the knowledge that you were never as alone as you thought. The brothers in Wales faced the unease of someone lurking just beyond their firelight, but in this next story, a man chose the opposite fate, spending his entire life in absolute solitude. In the Brazilian jungle, a passerby once encountered the man many called the loneliest in the world. He was the last surviving member of an exterminated tribe, left to live out his days entirely alone on a territory of more than 8,000 hectares. Moving from hut to hut, he built new shelters, hunted, gathered fruit, cultivated crops, and dug dozens of mysterious pits whose purpose no one ever understood. It was as though he lived as an entire tribe of one. For this reason, he became known as the Man of the Whole. For decades, very little was known about him. The only public image to circulate for years was a single photograph broadcast on Brazilian television in 1998. Experts said he appeared healthy, surviving on papaya, corn, and wild game. Observers at the time estimated his age to be just over 50, but by law, no outsiders were allowed to enter his territory. The isolation was absolute. He never made direct contact with anyone outside his tribe, and such contact could have been deadly. Isolated peoples often lack immunity to modern diseases, meaning even a single cough could wipe out what remained of their lineage. The man himself had made his wishes clear. He did not want to be approached. Those who came too close were met with arrows fired in warning. In 2022, Brazil's indigenous agency FUNAI discovered him dead in a hammock, decorated with macaw feathers. He was about 60 years old. Bullet casings and traces of earlier attacks were found nearby, adding to the tragedy of a man who had lived his entire life in solitude. He never shared his name, his language, or his story with the world. Even in death, he was not spared. The site of his grave was later desecrated by local farmers. And while his story was marked by silence, the last videos carry sound. chilling roars from the forest that still leave people debating what kind of creature made them. In the middle of a quiet wooded area, a stream cut a small bend through the landscape. Beside it stood a dense grove and an old hunting stand, the kind built for hours of silent waiting. A man and his wife had set themselves up there, recording as they watched, hoping only to catch glimpses of animals passing through. For a while, the footage shows nothing unusual: squirrels darting through branches, a pair of raccoons foraging nearby. But then, something far less ordinary breaks the calm.
Was that a vehicle?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
It sounds like screaming to me.
A deep, resonant sound rolls out across the forest. At first, they thought it might be mechanical, a motorboat drifting down the river, its engine echoing through the trees. But the tone felt different, raw and unsettling, carrying with it the suggestion of something alive. Could it have been a mountain lion, a wolf, or even a bear? Or was it something else entirely? The question lingers with no easy answer. Not long after, another video surfaced that seemed to capture something similar. Uploaded by a man named Jim Hammer, it shows a stretch of forest just as still, until the silence is torn apart. From deep among the trees comes a scream, long and guttural, followed by the crack of branches as though something massive was moving just out of sight. In the comments, viewers debated its source. Some suggested a moose during mating season, others insisted it was nothing more than an ordinary animal. But the clip spread quickly online under a far more sensational title: The Roar of Bigfoot. And so the question remains, what do you think? Are these just echoes of known creatures in the wild? Or could they be evidence of something we still struggle to explain? Now, that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.